Good job. Well done. So we know all of our rules already. Please follow by our rules and we can have a very well running and smooth lesson. Okay, guys. So for homework last night, I asked you to write your sentences. Teddy, again, really good job. Can you please read out your sentences?
My mom gave advice to me when someone bullied me. My friend said, always give positive advice. I borrow my friend's cushion pen for a day. My mom borrowed my mirror. I own a small patch of tomatoes. My mom loved to grow vegetables in my patch.
Really good job. I'm
Serious about the big tent. My dog is serious about protecting people.
Really good job, Teddy. Lovely sentences. Again, you have clearly thought about the meaning of them. In each of your sentences, you've given me a sentence that shows you truly understand the definition of each word, and you gave me two sentences for each word. So, really good job on that, Teddy. And again, I have Jenny today as well. So, I have the same two students to show off their vocabulary sentences. Good job. Jenny, can you please read your sentences for me?
My mom gives me advice for my homework. The doctors give me advice. I borrow pencil
My
and
mom's.
my mom's pencil and a pen. I borrow my dad's glasses to
Take a
take a
picture.
picture.
So because you didn't say I borrowed, we have to make sure that it stays in the same tense. I borrow my dad's glasses to take a picture.
I imagine growing apples on a patch. My dad owns a small patch. I am serious when doing a test.
And then this should say, often I am.
Often I am serious. I am always playful.
Very good. So in here we could have a conjoining word. Often I am serious, but then you could add in the word but. I am always playful. So I'm going to add that in for you, because you're showing a contrast in who you are. You can say, often I am serious, but I am always playful. Okay, really good job, Jenny. Again, Jenny has clearly thought about the words she wanted to use. She gave me two sentences for each word and shows me that she understands the meaning of each word with her sentences. Well done, Jenny. Okay, guys. So today is going to be our comprehension, so our reading comprehension. So please go and get your journeys book now. Okay, let's get started on our lesson today. So have a look over here. Who can help me read this paragraph? Okay, guys, so this is just a little preview to tell us what we're going to be learning about today. As you know, the world is made up of many, many, many different places and many different countries. Now, depending on where you are in the world, those people who live in certain countries or areas, they have their own culture, and their culture is shared with everyone in that community. For example, here in Vietnam, we have our own culture. You have your own language, there is Vietnamese music, there is traditional Vietnamese art, and there is traditional Vietnamese food. Each culture also has traditions, and these are beliefs and actions that have been followed and passed down from one generation to the next. Can anyone tell me of any Vietnamese traditions? Great, Teddy?
Our Vietnamese tradition is we we were outside when it's state holiday.
Amazing. Good job. Well done, Teddy. Wearing a beautiful ao dai is one of Vietnam's traditions. Back home in the UK, no one wears ao dais. People wouldn't even know what the name of it is. That's because it's not within their culture. But here in Vietnam, everyone in Vietnam knows what an ao dai is, and I'm sure that probably most people have worn an ao dai at least one time in their life. often you wear owl's eyes during Tet holiday, or maybe for a wedding, or maybe for a graduation day when you graduate school or high school or university. Good job, Teddy. Well done. So, the story we're reading today is called The Harvest Birds, and it is a folk tale from Mexico. So, we're going to learn about a character called Juan, and in this story, the character is going to learn some lessons about nature, farming, and even lessons about himself. As you read today, I want you to think about the lessons that you're being taught in this story. Let's have a look. So the genre is folk tales. So guys, folk tales are very old stories and they get passed down from generations, and within that country or within that culture, it's usually a famous story that kids know, adults know, and even grandparents know. Like I said, a folk tale's plot usually teaches you a lesson. So as we read today, please think about the lesson that you learn in this story. Our essential question is, what do traditional tales tell readers about life? So like I said, always be thinking about what this story is teaching you. All right, let's go ahead. So we're going to be learning about some harvest birds, or also known as the zanates. So zanate birds look like this. They are a native bird in southern and Central America. They kind of look like crows, but they've got these big, beautiful tails. So they're quite beautiful birds. Okay, can everyone please get out their journeys book? Please open it yourself to the correct page. We're on page 278, and I'm going to ask two students to read for the author and the illustrator. Do I have any volunteers? Steve, can you read about the author? This name is Blanca Lopez de Mariscal.
Blanca Lopez de Mariscal teaches at a university in Mexico. She writes and gives speeches about Mexican art, history, and literature. The Harvest Bird is her first children's book. She says she wrote this story because it was important to her introduce children to Mexican storytelling.
Good job. Thanks, Steve. So Blanca is a university professor, so she's a teacher, and she lives in Mexico. And usually she teaches adults, or students who are 18, 19, 20. So this book is her first ever children's book, and she said it was important to write this so that she could introduce young children to Mexican storytelling and Mexican culture. Okay, meet the illustrator. Can you please read that for me, Hannah?
Linda Kane. Linda Kane lives in the country. She has two dogs, a horse, a cat, and two peacocks. Kane loves outdoor activities such as hiking, skiing, and horseback riding. She has traveled to many places in the United States and all over the world.
Great work, Hannah. Well done. Okay, guys, so Linda Kane is the illustrator. So she drew all the pictures and the artwork. And she has a lot of pets. She has two dogs, a horse, a cat, and two peacocks. So she's got a lot of strange and amazing pets wandering around her house. And she loves the outdoors. So maybe that's where she gets her inspiration from when she draws. All right, guys, let's go ahead and read The Harvest Birds. So if I call your name, I'm going to ask you to read, and I'll tell you where I want you to read from. Okay, can you please read this first page for me? So all of this page. I'm going to ask Emma.
In a little town where everyone knew everyone, there lived a young man called
Juan.
Juan Zanet.
Okay, so bear with me, Emma. I'm just going to practice saying this name with everyone because the name will come up quite a lot. So, in Spanish-speaking countries, a J is pronounced like an H, like Hu. So this name is Juan. not Juan. So can everyone please say after me?
Juan.
Good, well done. Now, can everyone say Juan Zanate?
Juan.
Awesome, well done, guys. Okay, Emma, you can continue reading.
Called Juan Zanate. He was given this name because he was always seen with one or two Zanate birds. Juan used to sit under his favorite tree, dreaming and planning his life. He had wanted to have his own land, as his father and grandfather had. However, when his father died and the land was divided, there was enough for only his two older brother. Because of this, one has to go to work in the shops of the town. If only I had my own land, my life would be different, John thought. He went to see John Tobias, the richest man in the town, and asked to borrow a little piece of his land.
Good job. So this name is Don Tobias there. Don Tobias. Okay, guys. So please can you describe Juan Zanate? Okay, Hannah, good girl. What do you think?
I think Juan Zanate always liked to sit under his favorite tree. He likes him and plan his life.
Very good. He likes to plan his life. So he's quite an organized person. He used to sit under his favorite tree and plan his life. However, his life plan was to own some land. But what happened to that life plan?
He cannot get his own land because when his father died, the land was divided and there was just enough space for his two older brothers.
Good girl, Teddy. Well done. So, even though it was Juan's dream to own his own land, to become a farmer just like his dad was and his granddad, when his dad died, the land that his family owned didn't go to Juan. It went to his two older brothers. So, we've learned that Juan had a dream of being a farmer and owning some land, but that dream was taken away from him. But it says down here that he decides to go to see the richest man in town and ask to borrow a little piece of land. This lets me know that Juan doesn't give up easily. Even though he wasn't given any land, he's deciding to go to the richest man in town and ask to borrow some land. Let's see what Don Tobias says. Okay, can you please read this page for me? Yes, I can. Go ahead and read.
Tom Tobias burst out laughing, and his wife laughed with him. Why should I let you use my land? He asked. You don't know anything about making things grow. Sad and ashamed, Quan returned to sit under his tree. It was the only place where he felt really happy. In its huge branches lived a flock of Zanate birds who were so used to him that they thought of him as their friend.
Lovely reading, Lekan. Good girl. So, unfortunately, when he goes to see Don Tobias, it's not a successful trip. Don Tobias and his wife are very cruel. They burst out laughing in his face, saying, why would we give you any of our land? You don't know anything about farming. You don't know anything about making things grow. So they're not very kind to Juan. Instead of politely saying, no, sorry, we don't feel comfortable doing that, they're making fun of him. They're making him feel sad and ashamed for asking. Turn over the next page. Can you please read this for me? For Zelling.
There was one bird who cared very much for
Juan.
Juan and wanted him to find his way in life. This bird was always around Juan, resting on his shoulder or
Riding.
riding on his head. Juan named him Grajo.
Graho.
Grajo. or crown? Because Xanathars have black feathers.
Good job. So here is Juan making friends with some of the Zanate birds, and he names him Grajo, which translates to crow in Spanish because he looks a bit like a crow. Okay, turn over the page. Can you please read this page for me? Quang Ming.
After sitting and thinking for a long time, Juan decided to visit the oldest man of the town. Old people know many things because they live longer. Juan thought he'll give me some advice, and maybe he'll even help me. Juan greeted the old man, whom everyone called Grandpa Con.
Grandpa Chan.
Grandpa John, which, with respect, the old man seemed to be in a good mood, so Juan dared to ask him for a piece of land. Let me prove to you that I can be a good farmer and make things grow, he begged.
Good. Quang Hai, can you take over the next page, please?
Grandpa John became serious. I will help you, he said. I will let you use some land if you fail. However, you must work for me for free for as many days as you use my land.
Very good. Okay, so can someone please tell me the deal that Grandpa Chan and Juan have just made? What did Juan ask for? Tui Chi?
Juan asked Grandpa John for a land.
Very good, for some land. And Grandpa Chan agreed to give him some land. But under what condition? What will happen if Juan fails and does not make a harvest? Who can tell me what's going to happen to Juan? So Grandpa Chan has said, yes, you know what? I will give you some of my land, because Juan was begging for it. Juan was never giving up. He was begging Grandpa Chan for some land. And Grandpa Chan can see how much of a hard worker he is and how he's not giving up. So he decides, yep, I'll give you some land. But under what condition? What will happen if Juan will not make a harvest? What do you think? Cindy.
If he fails, he must work Grandpa John for free for as many days as he have used Grandpa John land.
Lovely answer. Good girl, Cindy. So, for example, if Juan takes the land for 50 days, but comes back with no harvest, no fruits, no vegetables, he must work for free for 50 days on Grandpa Chan's land. Now, farming is a lot of hard work. So working for free for 50 days is a lot of hard work for no money. So this is quite a serious deal that they have made. Let's see what happens. Okay, please read this page for me. Ming Huang.
Juan ran into the town, shouting the good news. Instead of being happy for him, told people laughed at him. Better you should straighten up my shop, where you cannot even reap your girl, shouted the carpenter. Don't waste your time, Juan. Come and work on this wheel, called the blacksmith. Help me with this stack of flour and stop dreaming.
Flour.
The
So this is
baker.
flour. Things that we use to make a cake. Flour.
Flour and stop dreaming. At the baker, Juan decided that nothing anyone said would stop him. It is time to get to work, he told himself. He began to prepare his land for planting. It was a very tiny patch of land and did not offer much promise of a big harvest. Still, John kept working, watched over by his good friend Zanate.
Good job. Okay, so stop on this page, guys. What's happening here? So Juan has finally got some land from Grandpa John. He's made a step in the right direction to accomplish his dreams. And when he runs into town shouting the good news, what does everyone do? How does everyone react to Juan having this wonderful news of owning some land or having some land? Is everybody happy for him? Susie, what do you think?
I think like students feel happy for June. They is laughing at him.
Good girl, well done. Instead of being happy for him and congratulating him and wishing him good luck, they're actually bullying him. They're saying, better you should straighten up my shop, meaning better you should work at my shop because where you plant, not even weeds will grow. Now, weeds are things that farmers don't like. Weeds are bad plants that infect your actual harvest and your crop. Other people are saying, don't waste your time, help me with these sacks of flour and stop dreaming. No one believes that Juan can do it. But does Juan let this affect him? Does Juan listen to these people and say, okay, I'm going to give up on my dream? Tweety, what do you think?
One don't care what they said and
Yeah, good girl. He doesn't. So Juan doesn't care about what they say, and he ignores them and says, I've got work to do. So instead of letting these people drag him down and make him feel bad about his dream, he ignores them and he goes on his way. Okay, Ocean, can you read this page for me, please?
my head is small, like my red hat.
Garden, like my garden patch.
But it is big enough to hold my dream. Thought the
Juan. Okay, good job. Okay, please read this page for me, Jenny.
He needed seeds to plant, but didn't have money to buy them. So he went to the shop and asked for some. Juan sweep up the corn, beans, and squash seeds from my floor and take them to my pig. The shop owner said, then if you wish, you can take some seeds for yourself.
Good girl. Okay, guys, what are we learning about Juan? What are some things you can tell me about Juan's character? What has he just done on this page?
he don't decide that he gave up and he sweep up the corn bean and squash seeds from his floor and take them to his pigs.
So he doesn't have any pigs, but basically he goes to a shop and asks, please, can I have some seeds? And the shop owner said, if you sweep up the corn, bean, and squash seeds from the floor and feed them to my pigs, whatever is left over, you can have some for yourself. So what are we learning about Juan? Jenny.
Juan is work hard.
Good job. Juan is a hard worker. He does not give up on his dream. Even though he has faced many problems and many obstacles in getting his dream, he doesn't give up. He keeps trying every single day. Good job, Jenny. Okay, can you please read this page for me? Kiwi.
John was happy because now he had seeds to plant. He didn't scare away the
Xanates.
the way the other farmers did. Instead, he gave them some of his leftover seeds to eat so they wouldn't be hungry. After all, the Xanates were his friend, and he cared for them very much. Graho was always with him, giving him advice as he worked.
Good, well done. Days passed and the tiny plants began to appear. Little shoots of weeds came up along with them. The Xanates told Juan not to throw the weeds away, as the other farmers did. Plant them on the borders of your land. Why do you think that Juan listened to the Xanate's advice. So he's finally getting some little sprouts growing with his plants, but unfortunately with them are coming weeds. Now, like I said, weeds are not good for crops. Farmers usually pull up the weeds and get rid of them. But the birds are saying, don't throw the weeds away. Instead, put them around the borders, put them around your plants. Why do you think Juan listens to the bird's advice? Quang Hai.
Because the birds are quite friends and
Yeah.
they can give quite advice to know how to grow a beautiful garden and some fruits.
Good job. Well done, Quang Hai. Absolutely. The Xanate birds are his friends and he cares about them very much. So when they are giving him advice on how to grow a plentiful harvest or on how to farm, he's going to listen to them. Let's have a look at the next page. When the other farmers heard what Juan was doing, they laughed at him. Imagine keeping weeds in your field. And as you can see, they're pointing and laughing at what Juan is doing. Juan has weeds all around his field, and the farmers are laughing. But at harvest time, everyone was waiting to make fun of Juan once again. They were sure he would fail. When Juan arrived in town, everyone was amazed. He brought a wonderful harvest, huge ears of corn, brightly colored squashes, and tasty looking beans. Have a look at this picture. Juan has arrived in town with a basket full of plentiful harvest, lots of colorful vegetables that look big and bright. How do you think everyone in town is going to feel when Juan shows them what kind of harvest he collected? Bad? Do you think they'll feel good? Do you think they'll feel silly for making fun of him? What do you think? Zaling.
I think they will be surprised.
Good, well done. I agree. I think they'll be very surprised as it lets us know that everyone is waiting to make fun of him. Everyone thinks that he's going to fail. What do you think, Mingha?
I think everyone will be jealous.
Yeah, good girl. I also think everyone will be jealous too. They've been working hard as well, but they've been making fun of him and expecting him to fail. So I think that they will be jealous of his amazing harvest. Please read this page for me. Hacker.
How did you do it? They all wanted to know. They smiled and answered. I did it with help of my friend, the dentist, the harvest bird. I learned to listen the voice of a natural. Work
Of
for
nature.
nature. Work for me. Then, Edward said, teach me your secret. No, answered old man. Juan
Juan.
and work for no one now because I am going to give him the land that
He harvested.
he harvests.
Good job. So this looks like an amazing ending coming up for Juan. He thankfully and finally produced an amazing harvest from the land that he borrowed from Grandpa Chan. And everyone was surprised. And instead of making fun of them, they all wanted to know his secrets. How did you do it? Work for me, teach me your secrets. But Grandpa Chan chimes in and he says, no, Juan doesn't work for anyone. He is his own man with his own independent land, as he's going to gift him the land that he used to make this wonderful harvest. So in the end, Juan is achieving his dream of owning some land. The last page. Who will like to read the last page for me? Okay, Suri, will you do that for me, please?
After selling the crop at an excellent price, Juan Zanate and Grandpa John returned to the little patch of land that was now John Pan's. The old man asked Juan to tell him his secret. The Zanate taught me that all plants are like brothers and sisters, replied Juan. If you separate them, they become sad and won't grow. If you respect
them and leave them together, they will happily and be content.
Good job. Well done, Suri. So, in the end, Juan has learned many lessons. He's learned not to give up. He's learned to follow his dreams, even when people are telling you you'll never be able to make it. And he's learned a lesson about nature. He's learned to listen to the voice of nature, respect nature. Instead of pulling out your weeds and throwing them away, don't separate them. Keep the weeds on the land, but remove them. Move the weeds and plant them around your crops. Don't just get rid of them. And by doing this, you're respecting nature. Okay, guys, for homework today, you are going to do a small writing homework. Have a look. You're going to answer this question. How does Juan teach readers to follow their dreams and to never give up? Use text evidence from the story. So you'll write this in your writing notebook and then you'll take a picture and upload it to Google Drive. And that's all for today, guys. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.